There's a man painted in chaos who never stops smiling. His face is locked in a permanent grin, muscles frozen in an expression that should mean joy, but screams nothing but pain. Every laugh is a convulsion. Every joke is a cry for help, disguised as philosophy. His name is the Joker. And here's what nobody wants to admit. That smile isn't madness. It's a medical catastrophe. A biological meltdown wrapped in purple suits and bad punchlines. The Joker isn't insane. He's dying. Slowly. Publicly. And we call it entertainment. This isn't a story about a comic book villain. This is a story about what happens when a human body is forced to perform an emotion it doesn't feel, 24 hours a day, for years. When muscles meant to express happiness become instruments of torture. When the nervous system turns against itself. When chemistry, biology, and psychology collide in a way that creates something that shouldn't be able to exist. The Joker matters because his condition, this permanent grin, this endless performance of joy, is the most honest visual representation of what our culture does to people every single day. We demand the smile, we punish the truth, and we wonder why everyone's falling apart. For decades, we saw the Joker as pure evil, the agent of chaos, Batman's opposite, a man who chose madness because it was fun, liberating, the ultimate middle finger to society's rules. He was the villain you loved to hate, the one who made murder into performance art. And everyone agreed. The Joker smiled because he enjoyed it, because pain was funny to him, because he was broken in a way that made him free. We romanticized it, called it chaotic good, philosophical rebellion. The smile was his signature, his brand, proof that he'd transcended human weakness and become something else entirely, something beyond pain. But look closer at that face. Really look. That's not a smile. That's a rictus, a muscular spasm locked into place. The corners of his mouth aren't turned up by choice. They're held there by scar tissue, chemical burns, nerve damage, or, in some origin stories, a Glasgow grin carved so deep it severed the facial muscles entirely. His face isn't expressing joy. It's frozen in the biological aftershock of trauma. And every second he wears that expression, his body is screaming. Because here's what we forget. Smiling isn't passive. It's work. The zygomatic major muscle, the levator labii superioris, the risorius, all firing constantly, pulling skin, stretching tissue, sending signals to a brain that knows something is desperately wrong. In a normal human, you smile for seconds, maybe minutes. The muscles contract, the brain gets a little dopamine feedback, and then you relax. But force those muscles to stay contracted, the body rebels. Blood flow gets restricted, lactic acid builds up, the nerves start misfiring. And the brain, which is supposed to receive I'm happy signals from a smile, instead gets I'm in danger signals from the sustained muscular tension. It's called facial feedback dysfunction. Your face is lying to your brain, and your brain knows it. So it floods your system with stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline. Your heart rate spikes, your immune system crashes, and you start to break down from the inside out. The Joker's laugh isn't voluntary. It's a neurological misfire. A condition called pseudobulbar affect, where brain damage causes uncontrollable emotional outbursts disconnected from actual feelings. He's not laughing because things are funny. He's laughing because his brain's emotional regulation system is shattered. Each laugh is a seizure. Each giggle is his nervous system glitching. And the worst part? He's aware of it. In some versions, he's desperately aware. He knows he's not actually amused. He knows the laugh is a symptom, but he can't stop it. Can't control it. So he builds a philosophy around it, turns his biological disaster into a worldview. Because if you can't fix the pain, you make it mean something. And then there's the chemical component. Depending on the origin story, the Joker's skin is bleached, his hair is green, his body is saturated with toxins that shouldn't exist in human tissue. Ace chemicals didn't just disfigure him, it rewired him. Those toxins are in his bloodstream, his organs, his brain. They're destroying his liver, corroding his kidneys, creating micro-lesions in his cerebral cortex. He's not just mentally unstable, he's medically poisoned. Every day he wakes up is a day his body is actively trying to shut down. And yet, he keeps going, keeps performing, keeps smiling. Because stopping would mean admitting the pain is real. And if the pain is real, then he's not free. He's just broken. This is the paradox nobody talks about. The Joker's entire identity is built on the idea that he's transcended suffering, that he's so enlightened, so liberated, that pain doesn't touch him anymore. But his body tells a different story. His body is a nightmare of constant agony, held together by spite and performance. He doesn't smile because he's happy. He smiles because his face is incapable of doing anything else. And every moment of that smile is torture. But if he admits that, if he lets the mask slip, then he's not the Joker anymore. He's just a dying man in clown makeup. And that's not a good story. That's just sad. So he doubles down. He makes the pain into art, turns the grin into a weapon, convinces himself and everyone else that the suffering is the point, that chaos is freedom, that if you laugh at the horror, it can't hurt you. But it does hurt him. It's killing him, slowly, visibly. And everyone who looks at him and thinks he's free is missing the point. The Joker isn't free. He's the least free person in Gotham. He's a prisoner inside a body that's cannibalizing itself, forced to perform joy while drowning in biological catastrophe. And the only way he can survive it is to pretend it's a choice. Batman sees it. That's why he never kills the Joker. Not because of some moral code, because he knows the Joker is already dying, that every punch, every fall, every explosion is accelerating the collapse. That man doesn't need to kill him. Time will. Biology will. The Joker's body is a ticking clock, and the smile is the countdown. And maybe that's the real tragedy. Not that the Joker is evil, but that he's a man in so much pain that evil is the only language he has left. And we watch him. We laugh at his jokes. We quote his philosophy. And we never ask, how much does it hurt to smile like that? The world sees the Joker and thinks he's dangerous because he's unpredictable. But the real danger is that he's relatable. Because how many people do you know who smile through agony? Who perform happiness because admitting pain feels like weakness? Who've been hurt so badly that the only way to survive is to pretend it's funny? The Joker's grin isn't unique. It's just more honest. He wears his catastrophe on his face. The rest of us hide ours. We plaster on the smile. We laugh at the wrong times. We push through the pain and call it resilience. And our bodies keep the score. Just like his. The Joker doesn't have a happy ending because he can't. His biology won't allow it. Every version of his story ends the same way. More chaos, more pain, more laughing, until something finally breaks for good. And when he dies, because he will die, it won't be in some grand philosophical finale. It'll be his body giving out. Organ failure, toxic shock, neurological collapse. The grin will finally relax. And in that moment, maybe for the first time in years, his face will be at peace. Not because he found meaning, but because the muscles finally stopped fighting. We love the Joker because he tells us that pain can be funny, that suffering can be a choice, that if you just embrace the chaos, you can be free. But that's the lie. The Joker isn't free. He's trapped in a body that's eating itself alive, wearing a smile that's killing him, performing for an audience that thinks it's all part of the show. And the saddest part? He knows it. He knows the grin is agony. He knows the laugh is a symptom. He knows he's not the agent of chaos. He's its victim. But admitting that would mean the pain wins. And he can't let the pain win. So he smiles, and smiles, and smiles, until there's nothing left. So here's the question nobody wants to answer. When you smile through your own disaster, who are you performing for? And what happens when your body finally stops playing along?